Hey everyone, how's it going? This is going to be the first video I'm going to do on a sort of how-to video for Civil War reenacting. Today I'm going to be putting on the cartridge box plate on my cartridge box and also the breast eagle on the sling for my Union impression. The cartridge box plate I got from Regimental Quartermaster. It comes with the piece of leather too that you're going to need for the backing, and the breast eagle I actually found on eBay, but Regimental sells them too, and you get the piece of leather you're going to need. I just found a scrap piece of leather laying around and cut a piece long enough for the loops on the back. So basically I'm going to talk through it, and then I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to come back since I can't do this with one hand. But what you're going to want to do, you can see you have these two loops on the back of your cartridge box plate. You're going to want to try and find the center of your box as best you can. You're going to push down real hard and try to make marks here for those loops. So it'll go, you've got to push these all the way through the leather, through the flap here. And then once, I'm just going to have a pocket knife here I'm going to use to cut the slits. Put the box plate through those slits and then make sure they poke through. And then with this leather piece, I'm just going to feed it through those loops on the back. I've got a little set of pliers here to do that with. And then the breast eagle is going to be the same deal, but it's going to be on the sling. You're going to, same way for punching it through the leather, real simple. Now you could use a piece of leather, whatever you want. Some people bend these over. I guess it depends on how thick the leather is on your sling. I would just recommend using a piece of leather. That way it's easier. So, same deal. This should be about middle of your chest. So you want to do this with your sling on, so you don't have it, the wrong place when you put your cartridge box on. It'll look real goofy. And measure twice, cut once. Do this, you want to get this right the first time, or else you're going to have a bunch of holes all over your sling from where you tried and failed to get the right spot. So I'm going to pause the video here. I'm going to go ahead and put these on and come back and show you what the end result is. This cartridge box is just one of my, what you call a mainstream cartridge box. I got it from, I believe it was Fall Creek, back at Cedar Creek a couple of years ago. Not too bad. It's got an inspector stamp on it. There you go. And it has the tins in it. E. Gaylord, Chicopee, Massachusetts. Now this is, like I said, this is just it wouldn't be the campaigner quality. I know some people will yell at me, oh, the stitches aren't right, or whatever. I know. Personally, I recommend getting one from Missouri Boot and Shoe. That's where I got my Confederate leather gear from, which I'll do a video on later. And you can get the entire set. I recommend just going to him. You can get the cartridge box, the sling, the belt, the cap pouch, the bayonet scabbard, all from Missouri. And it's really high quality stuff. He hand stitches. It takes a little bit to come in, but it's totally worth it. But this is just going to be my hold me over until I get the stuff from Missouri Boot and Shoe. And then once I get that stuff, this will be loaner gear. I don't want to knock it, mainstreamer stuff. A lot of people are, I know it's an expensive hobby, so you can still make this look good. Don't get me wrong, So anyway, I'll be right back, and I'll show you how it turns out. Alright, now here's the finished product. Wasn't that hard. There's the box plate. You see the piece of leather on the back. Now the piece of leather that came with this box plate from Regimental, I actually used on the breast eagle over here. It was just a little too thick, so I found a thinner piece of leather. Worked just fine. And there's the breast eagle. Held on there pretty good. Like I said, this is a thicker piece of leather. Yeah, it was just I had cut the holes big enough for the whole loop to get through on this one, whereas on the box plate I hadn't cut them quite wide enough, but I was still able to get this piece of leather through there, so it's holding just fine. You can see there's a little bit of a gap, but I mean, you can't notice it. One little lesson learned: be careful when you're pushing these through, because the loops are soft and they can bend easily. And I accidentally bent this one out a little bit, so when this one went in just fine, this one was having a hard time because it had bent. So I had to sort of push it through and try and bend it back over here. But like I said, pretty simple process. It was a real easy project. Only took like 30 minutes to get done. So there you have a Union cartridge box and strap sling all set to go. If you guys have any questions, you want to see some more Civil War videos, let me know, and I'll see you next time.